It's time for the hottest show in America. It's time for the Al Rucker Show, where you get the 411 from A to Z, special guests, and much, much more. So buckle up for a wild, wild ride. The Al Rucker Show starts now.
Thank you for tuning back in for the second hour of the Al Rucker Show. And still sitting here is comedian Grossman.
And still doing that dance.
Yeah.
Like, why are we still doing that?
Baby.
He's practicing.
For what?
I'm putting this on all my social media. This is me now.
He's practicing.
Everybody got their own dance. I'm the wave man. Okay. When I throw it, I need you to throw it back.
I will not be throwing it back. I'm not participating at
one
all.
time, just one. Give me one throw.
Not at all.
I got
Oh, you did it. You did it. She
I
it
did
with her
not.
thumbs. She did it with her thumbs. She did it with her thumbs, dog.
Don't do it.
Come on. Come on, Al.
I'm not doing that with you.
All right, then.
Oh, my goodness.
Song man, come on.
So, is that what you guys used to do? Like, how long have you guys known each other?
I've been knowing him since he was like 2.
Okay. And so did y'all do that together in the club?
No, I lived in the prominent neighborhood.
What does that mean?
I'm just
The
playing.
prominent neighborhood.
I'm just messing with it. Nah, how long I've been knowing you? I've been knowing him a few years.
That's funny.
More than that.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while. But you know when you find those friends that you just bond with and you can just laugh and joke and have fun with and then have serious conversations with. Well, he's not one of them.
That was I got the fun and laughter, but then when you got the serious, lost
Ooh,
me.
I thought I was one of them.
No, that's my boy, man. That's my boy.
No,
No.
that was cool. That was funny.
That's a good friend of mine. No, he's a good friend of mine.
We got you can tell. We got a lot coming up. We're gonna
You're a good
ask Al.
friend. You're a good friend.
Yeah, but I'm a good new friend. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah,
there
but
are
friend
people
is
that you
friend.
can tell you've known just because you all will say things
But
to
you're
each
not
other.
serious. You too serious sometimes.
Well, somebody's got to be in this whole mix of things.
Okay, all right.
Somebody has got to be
you
the
right,
serious
Yeah,
one.
you're right about that.
But I mean, you can tell because you all say things, and clearly you all know what each other's talking about because you just have
Yeah.
that history.
Sometimes
so it's
you gotta
just
let your hair down, you know.
my hair is
Yeah.
always down.
Yeah.
Not the last time I was in your hair.
It was down.
No, it wasn't.
Okay,
I have
well.
a picture of you.
Yeah. That's scary. Ask
Everything
Al
that
Rucker.
hurts so scary.
That
Now
is
that's
scary.
scary.
That's stalkerish.
That's
is what it is.
stalkerish,
Yeah.
Terry.
So what we got? What we got?
Ask Al out front. Ass of the week. All of that is coming up.
Oh, really?
Oh,
really?
I'm telling
Did you see how she did
I did.
ass of the week?
Instant
Right at me, huh?
nomination.
Oh, my God, Terry.
And also her with Focus. That is the song that we're going to play next. Plus a lot of great music on the Al Rucker Show.
Ass of-
Thank you for tuning back into the Al Rucker Show, and we're at this segment we call Hot Topics. So, Nikki, what we got?
Well, I wanted to get your feedback. I have a cousin, and I was talking to her the other day, and she's been dating this guy, and it's been 7 months since they started dating. But they have not been intimate yet. And it has not been her. It hasn't been her decision. It's been his. And so she's concerned. And so she's been calling, all her female friends and cousins or whatever to figure out what she should do. I mean, she's asked him about it. They've had a discussion, and he always says that he got out of a long-term relationship and he wanted to give it time before he jumped back into something. But it's been 7 months. No. So as men, what is your feedback on that? Like, if you had to give my cousin advice, like, what would you say? What would you tell her to do?
He's a preacher.
He's a
No,
He's a
I
preacher.
understand his point of view. He said he doesn't want to jump back into something because maybe he is looking at sex as a very important part
of the relationship.
So he just don't want to just. She ought to feel good. He just don't want to have sex with anybody. So he wants to make sure the relationship.
That is a great perspective.
Yeah, he wants to make sure the
Yeah.
relationship is solid before he goes there. For him, going there may mean a very, very big commitment. So
That's
yeah.
really interesting because I know women say that a lot. Like they
Yeah,
just got out of a
right.
relationship and it's not like he's, like they're, just buddies. I mean, he's, he
a good guy.
seems to be really attracted to her.
Yeah.
She says they just haven't had sex.
Yeah.
But I think that's good
Yeah,
feedback.
I think that's what it is. I believe that's all. She knows he's not, funny. So at the end of the day,
What-
I just got to say funny.
And do that.
Well, what happens if he get it and it's be like, man, I waited this long?
Really? That's what we gonna do.
No, man.
You know what? I can't do this. I waited 7 months for this?
Have you ever been, Grossman, have you ever been in a situation where you thought it was better to wait?
No.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not once.
I'm not waiting.
What if she wanted to wait?
Wait with somebody else.
Really?
Really? You that cold-hearted?
Man, like what? No, I'm just kidding. I'll wait.
How long
If
would you
she's
wait?
worried, how long would I wait?
Yeah, how long would you wait? Like, what is?
I would wait probably 2 months. I'll give it
2 months.
Yeah, I'll
7
give it 2
months is a long time.
7 months.
I'll give it 2.
7 months. If you're really into each other and you're grown, 7 months is a long time.
Once you start staying
lot of-
over more than
a
4 or
lot.
5 days, once you do that and you land next to me, yeah,
It's
Nah,
a-
they doing a lot of dry humping.
yeah.
my
It's called spooning.
God,
lot
it's
of
called cuddling on family radio. That's what we call it. Yes, it's not on,
Spooning
on
is the
family
same.
radio. It's called cuddling. Yeah, I think
Cuddling?
yeah,
Cuddles.
Cuddle.
people that listen to family radio.
She's so old school. She old school. She cuddles.
I hadn't
You
heard
don't.
that.
You have
It's spooning.
It's called spooning.
people still say cuddling?
No, they don't.
No,
Yes,
they
they
don't.
You told your
do.
age.
No.
I am. What is with you and age?
Do you-
That is not.
When the last time you?
When last
Hey.
time you cuddled?
Hey, let's go cuddle. That even sound like it. That even sound
Say it
right.
again now. Hey,
Let's go. That even sound right.
All right. Let's go cuddle.
So you actually told your dude, hey, let's go cuddle.
I mean, it's a word I think people still use. I don't think that it's. I don't know if last time I've said it, but
I
it's
don't
a
think-
word
I
that
don't
people
think-
still use.
Maybe women do. Men don't use cuddle.
Clearly, and I'm glad that none of the men I date are like y'all. My
None of the men that you're
goodness.
dating.
If
How
you
many
did, you'd
men are
probably
you
still be
dating?
with him.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, you would.
no.
Let's go cuddle.
Okay.
Okay. I was thinking about that too myself.
I want to cuddle too.
Ain't no way. Ain't no way.
This is like the stupidest break. All right, we got a lot more coming up, including Ask Al. We're going to solve some problems, Ass of the Week, and Out Front, all coming up next on the Al Rucker
teach
Show.
you how to cuddle. Thank you for tuning back into the Al Rucker Show. You got comedian Grossman, myself, and you got Nikki Woods. Nikki, we're at that segment we call Power Up. Who we got?
We are Power Up is where we really focus on learning things that are going to help empower us, motivate us, and really propel us towards a better life. So I wanted to talk today to Quentin Love, who is out of Chicago. He is a restaurateur, a philanthropist, a community activist, a certified success coach, and author. And he does this phenomenal thing in Chicago. Well, actually, he does it year round. He also owns a restaurant in Chicago called the Turkey Chop. And every Monday they feed the homeless. So welcome to the show, Quentin Love.
Welcome, Quentin.
Oh, thank you for having me.
I mean, I could read his whole bio, but it would take all of our 7 minutes, so I'm not going to do that. But he
Yeah, let's cut it down.
right. But he believes in the healing power of food, and one of the reasons, and Quentin, you better tell him, why did you start Turkey Chop?
Well, Turkey Chop was invented because of the needs in every inner city of America. Where, if you go into any African American community, that's considered like a food desert, right? So it's important that we offer healthy options in our own community. And so Turkey Chop was born. Before Turkey Chop, there was a brand called Quench, which we did the same things, but rebranding it and understanding that people absolutely love turkey. So we have the same concept, but turkey products instead of no beef, no pork.
And so how long have you been feeding the homeless every Monday, and how many people have you been able to serve?
So we've been feeding the homeless since 2014, and we have reached the 200,000 people mark, Nikki, as of Monday.
Wow. That is amazing.
Good.
That is
Yeah,
amazing.
That's a lot of
It's
turkeys.
amazing. It's amazing, yet it's unfortunate because people are hungry. People are hungry. People need that random acts of kindness just to propel them for the week.
Yeah. Yeah, and you also raise money, partly from the community, but partly from other places because you give away turkeys during the holidays. And I know you're in the middle of your campaign, so tell us a little bit about that before we talk about what we can do to give back to the community.
Mm-hmm. So every year, this is the fourth annual turkey giveaway, and with the recent violence in Chicago and how they've been heightened and the McDonald case and everything, and Chicago was pretty much in an uproar. And so what we wanted to do is up the ante and give away more turkeys and provide more love to people by giving away 3,000 turkeys. But, we're not, it's not being donated to the Love Foundation. We actually have to buy those turkeys, right? So we're raising funds through a GoFundMe, and we have some things going on through Facebook to actually raise the money to give away these turkeys to those that are less fortunate or anybody that stands in the line. There's no requirement. If you stand in that line, you get a free turkey, right? And it's just anybody can come and benefit from this giveaway.
That's amazing. And so how can they find the campaign on GoFundMe?
You look for 3,000 turkey giveaway. So it's 3,000 turkey giveaway, or I'm sure you type in Quentin Love or the Love Foundation, or you can just simply go to Facebook and type in Quentin Love, and that campaign is just sitting there on my Facebook page, and just hit the button and just give. Let's make a difference. $5 matter to $30,000. So, Nikki, go ahead and write the check right now. Let's get it over with.
Oh, I always support you.
Right, you sure do. And let's just get it done. I mean, and you need to come back to Chicago. You've been promising us to come back.
I know.
And let us see you and come on a Monday. And they will love to see you and help give back. And it's just a wonderful thing that people are coming and just standing in line, and they're excited for someone to just show them love. I mean, think about it. There's someone to give them a random hug, or someone to just simply say, hey, I love you, right? And I had a guy to say, no one has ever told me that. No one has ever told me that I love you.
Do you feed these? Do you feed them at your restaurant, or how do you?
Yeah. I feed them directly from the restaurant.
That's good.
He closes the restaurant for a
every
certain
Monday.
time.
Yeah, every Monday we close down, and we start giving away food from 12 to 3. And any and everyone is welcome. So we usually have fried chicken, baked chicken, smothered chicken, some form of beans and rice, some form of vegetable. And so they have a balanced meal every Monday, no matter what. And of course, you hear them say, "This is the best meal I've had all week," or "This may be the only balanced meal that I had all week." You know what I mean? Because if you think they may only had $1, $2 left to their name, so they're going to go to the hood spot and get that $1 burger with fries. And we know that the nutritional value in that is not proper. And so we found out that the leading cause of violence is an improper diet. So imagine it's like feeding yourself poison and expect for yourself to make proper choices. I mean, it's not going to work.
Yeah, it's not going to work.
Right.
Over time.
Right. And so is it, and we're running out of time here, but is it just a decision that people have to make to get involved? Is that how it starts?
Yeah, you just wake up one morning and just stop talking about doing something and actually do something. And it doesn't matter what you're doing. It doesn't matter how much money you have, but just lend your talent, lend your time to yourself, your block, your city, your hood, whatever you have, and just start giving things away. Just start reaching out to people, to random stranger, and just do your part. And if everyone did their part, the world would be a whole nother place.
All right. Well, I am in Chicago for Thanksgiving, so I'm actually saying it on the record that I will come hand out turkeys with you when I get there. I don't.
21st.
Okay.
At noon.
At noon. Okay. I will be there. I don't know if I'll be there on a Monday, but I will be there for Thanksgiving. So, Quentin, thank you so much. Definitely connect with him on Facebook. Search for it on the GoFundMe campaign. There isn't a better cause, especially this time of year when people, they don't have families, they don't have anywhere to go. Definitely show them a little love. So, Quentin, thank you so much for being on the show with us.
Thank you so much for having me. I'll see you soon. Thanks, fellas.
All right, no problem, Doc.
Absolutely. So we've still got a lot of show coming up. We've got Ask Al, we've got Out Front, Ass of the Week, much more music all on the way right here on the Al Rucker Show.
Thank you for tuning back into the Al Rucker Show, and we're at that segment we call Hot Topics. Nikki, you going to lead the way for us?
I am. So I'm a true crime junkie. Like, I watch all the things on like Investigation Discovery or whatever. And I was reading this story in Dallas. There is a man who he's a suspect in 3 armed rapes in Dallas in the last 2 months. And now they have linked him to like Louisiana. They like linked him to all of these states.
Goodness.
And so they're saying that you definitely need to be on the lookout. They've, released the police sketch, the official police sketch. He looks like he's 12, actually. And so they're saying, between September 12th and 19th that he has been they're saying that he's actually close to 16. So he's really, really young. But the police are, they say to be on the lookout for him.
He's 16 years old.
Said 16 to 19. He looks really young.
Yeah, they're raping people.
But, but I mean, I think that, it's just so scary. And I think that I was talking to a neighbor, and it's like, I think, it's just so hard now, especially raising kids and girls, and, to how to tell them to be careful and, be safe and protect yourself, because I think so many people now are still very unaware of their circumstances, and they're still very unaware of what is going on around them, especially because, and I told my kids that they got to stop doing this because they wear headphones all the time. So like, you're walking down the street with headphones on, you could possibly hear things that are happening around you. And
when did
so
that start? All the kids are wearing headphones.
It's
like
we were
everywhere you go, everywhere. I think only thing kids want for Christmas is headphones.
We had just gotten back from the grocery store. We were taking groceries out of the car, and my neighbor was across the street, and he was talking to us. And my son kept going, what did he say? I was like, well, if you take the headphones off, you will be able to hear him. It's like the most ridiculous thing.
Everybody's got headphones
They
on.
do it. We've talked about it before on the show. It's like a totally different way of like the way they communicate with each other as young people now.
Ignoring the world. They don't know what's going on in the world, so put the earphones on. That's their world.
The earphones, it's like the headphones, it's like they'll play, like my son told me the other day he was going to hang out with his friends. And so I was like, good, they're leaving, they're going somewhere.
Right.
I go upstairs and he's in his room on the game, and I'm like, I thought you were going to hang out with your friends. He's like, we are. I'm like,
Wow.
leave the house.
Yeah,
It's like
How old is your son?
This one is 17.
The 17-year-old, he can go wherever.
Well, he can't go wherever, but he can leave the house.
He can leave the house.
Yeah.
He has a nice bicycle he can ride.
I mean, well, he drives.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's the difference back. We were growing up. We didn't have a car. We walked.
You ride your bicycle?
Ride your bike.
Well, my youngest want to ride his bicycle, but I'm just saying.
He's 15, right?
And he's 15.
Yeah.
But none of them go anywhere. It's
Well,
like they would much rather be at home and talk to each other through a video game than actually leave the house.
Yeah. Well, it's just technology has done it. And we was all growing up. We had to go outside and play. We had to go outside and play with each other and stuff like that.
When I first moved to Dallas, we moved to this nice residential family, and I was like, go outside. It was the summer. Go outside and play. And they were like, we don't. I was like, go outside and play. I go out. They're up there walking up and down the street, and I'm like, they're like, there's no other kids out here. There's nobody to play with.
Yeah.
So it's just a different time.
Suburbs, though.
Yeah, that was a thing to do. When I was younger, we went outside.
You from the hood?
Yeah, you literally go outside at 10 o'clock in the morning. I wouldn't come back in the house till like 6, 7 o'clock in the evening.
My mom locked the door.
Yeah,
like she locked the door and put water by the door, so you couldn't. She'd open it for lunch.
Well, we know why that. Because her daddy's 6. How tall is your dad again?
My dad is 6'5",
and the mama is 4'11".
Are you serious?
Yeah, and what he called your mama?
Badness. So anyway, that's not what we were thinking about when we were kids, but okay.
Of course not. But
And I don't want to think about it now.
Y'all come back in here.
Right.
That don't get your water on your cup. Your water, your name on your cup.
Goodness. More hot topics. Power up. Out front.
Did you have your name
out.
on your cup?
We had to, because you only got one.
You got one cup. You drink out that water hole.
We'll be back with a lot more on the Al Rucker Show.
Good water. That water hole water good.
Thank you for tuning back into the Al Rucker Show. You got comedian Grossman. You got Nikki Woods. You got myself, Al Rucker. Nikki, what we got going on?
Well, I want to know what comedian Grossman has got going on, because he keeps telling us about all these shows, all these things that he does. But then when I ask him specifically, I can't get any answer.
Well, you know what that's.
What is that about?
He's trying to build himself up. We're going to let him live in fantasy land. So, Grossman, tell us what shows you got going on.
You sound like somebody I don't like. Y'all kind of favor.
Nah, I'm taller. I'm taller. You are a trip. Bet you won't say his name.
For what? Don't need it.
You so retarded. Go ahead, man. What you got going on?
So lost.
I know. It's a Houston thing. Everybody's comedian Grossman. I will be in Baltimore this weekend.
Really? Where are you going to be?
Chesapeake Arts Theater.
Ah.
Yeah.
Now, have you been to Baltimore
Yes,
before?
this will be my 4th time.
Yeah, I love Baltimore.
I go here. I go every year. I go once a year to Baltimore, and it's so much fun.
It is.
And it's so cold.
They got
real cold.
It's pretty up there though.
Oh my
I
God.
love
It's
the
pretty.
clean.
It's clean.
Clean
Yeah.
city.
But you are right off that water.
Oh my goodness.
Good crab.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
haven't had the crabs yet.
Yeah, you ain't had the crab up there.
I haven't had the crabs yet.
Really?
No. Well, my planes like I'm gonna get there in enough time to have.
Oh my
to have
gosh,
some
I
crab.
can't think of the name of the place, and I'm
Please
sure
tell
people
me the
will,
name of it so I can go there.
people will tell me, but they don't even have chairs. Like you can't even sit down and eat your crab cakes. Like you can't. They don't have any chairs because there's so many people that want. It's so good that they just shuffle you in and shuffle you right on out.
Are you serious?
You can't even sit, but it's so worth it.
Okay, well I'll find out where it is.
Yeah,
as soon as I
just
get there.
Google crab cakes, no chairs, and it'll come up. It'll come up because it's like
That's great.
everybody said that's where you have to go. Like the first time I wanted to go to Baltimore and get crab, and every time I go, I have to go to that spot. It's so good.
Thanks for telling me that. So I will be there this weekend, ladies and gentlemen. So please come out.
Is there a way they can get tickets?
Yeah, call the theater and
ask for the
tickets.
tickets.
You get the tickets to them.
What's the name of the theater again?
Chesapeake Arts Theater.
What day and time?
Saturday at 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock
Okay.
show.
That's what's up. Congratulations. on
Help
that,
us
man.
help you.
Thank you for helping me. I need it.
That's what's up.
The
man.
most hated.
You the most hated?
So how did your comedian career start? Like
My comedy career start?
Your comedy career. How did it start? Like did you know this is always what you wanted to do?
No, I didn't. I wanted to be a fireman all my life. I wanted to be a fireman. And, things happened. I couldn't be a fireman. So don't start, brother. I know what you're thinking.
What about
Anyway,
thinking?
yeah, I used to. I
about-
was Steve Harvey for like 5 years, doing shows with him. Then I at the Hip Hop Comedy Stop, Rushion McDonald, which we started the Hip Hop Comedy Stop. So
Right.
that's how I got started.
That's
Cool.
And it's been going on for 20-something years.
Wow.
22 exact.
That's what's up.
Wow.
And finally finna get your big break. Got your first show in Baltimore.
Yeah, my first show ever out the city.
I'm just messing with you. No, Grossman is
That's how
one of
we
the Grossman is one of the premier comics in the country. He's good. He's good. You won't be disappointed when you see him in
Absolutely.
yeah, you won't be disappointed at all.
All right.
Also, I just have, I do a show here like every other month. Here in Houston, I do it at Grooves. And I just had my show last Saturday, sell out every time.
Yeah.
So the next show is my Valentine's Day show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In February?
In February.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to let it build up because it's hard. It's hard getting 22 people in the
I was
building.
going to say those 10 seats go
No,
fast.
that's
Yeah.
what's at your club. Always.
when you perform, yes.
Yes.
Oh my God.
You and my staff.
Who was that? Me and who?
You and my staff.
Right? But
They're like, Grossman funny. He said that joke already, but you said it different last time.
That is so funny.
It's all good, but no, he's a good cop. He's a good
All
cop.
right,
it
cool.
was my moment. But Al stole it like a.
No, you. I uplift you.
You did the.
I uplift you. You retarded, man.
All right, power up is on the way. We are really going to uplift
So-
somebody with power up. That's coming up. Also, Ask Al out front and Ask of the Week all on the way
Please follow me, Comedian Grossman on Instagram.
on the Al Rucker Show.
Yes.
Thank you for tuning back into the Al Rucker Show. You got Terry Grossman. You
Yes,
got
sir.
Nikki Woods and myself. Nikki, what we got going on?
Well, I was talking to a friend of mine, and we were talking about this whole thing of dating married men. And the reason we were talking about it is because, not because we do it, Comedian Grossman, but we were talking about it because we have another friend who that's all she, people can see the way you're looking at Al. He's not looking at you, but
What are you talking about?
people, so we were talking about it because we have a friend and all she'll date is married men. That's all she'll date. And
Really?
she doesn't want to date anything but married men. She's a very successful, she's very attractive, and she says that she just does not have time to take care of a man. So she would rather be with somebody who is already quote unquote taken care of, and she just gets the perks.
She's a friend of yours?
She is actually.
She lives in Dallas?
You gonna narrow it down?
I've been in Dallas with the MOB.
Are you married though? You're missing one of the main requirements.
He might as well be.
You can go down to Home Depot and get you a little washer to put on your hand.
But it's interesting. But this has become like a new phenomenon. Where people really don't want to be in these committed relationships, so they would rather date somebody who may be married or may just be in another relationship.
That's selfish.
How is it? What?
Selfish.
Why is it? Why do you say it's selfish?
It is. They don't put their heart in nothing. They just want to use somebody else's man. That's it. Have you ever dated a married man?
I have not that I know of.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, people are not very honest all the time. So I don't think I have. And I wouldn't want to. I mean,
Tell her to call me.
I really respect the institute of marriage. And I think some people do and some people don't. And I think because my parents have been married for so long and I've seen other very successful relationships, I just respect it. And
she dated a lot of men then.
Huh?
She only date married men. That means she dates a lot of men.
Because there are a lot of married men out there?
Yeah. That's all she dates is married men. She dates a lot
But I
of
think
married
she's
men.
been in, I think she's been in, and I hate to call them relationships, but she's been in long-term situations with him. It's not like she just goes out and that's it. I mean, she's been in what we would normally call a relationship. I mean, where it's been like years, actually. There's one that was like 3 years long.
Well, it's working for her.
Okay.
It's working for her.
So her term is 3 years. After 3 years, you got to go.
I don't know if that's her term or not. I don't know. But I think that it...
You're out of there, dog.
I think it's more prevalent now that people just are not interested in having those long-term committed relationships. Would you date a married woman?
No.
Why not?
That's dangerous.
And then there's that. Like,
Man, that's scary.
And then there's that.
You date a married woman and he come, you over there and he come, just say he come in, you got to change who you are. I'm just here to get a blouse. That's it.
I can see you doing that too, which is scary.
I just
in
get it.
itself.
That's how I don't want her. Just here to get this blouse. I'm finna to go.
Yeah.
You so big. You 6 something? What you 6
Oh
feet,
my
7 or
goodness.
something?
He is retarded.
Oh man, you gotta change who you are.
Explain
Listen,
change
I
who
don't-
you are. Explain change who you are.
You got to change. You got to become another person.
Another person like,
Hello.
I don't know. I think it just takes too much energy. I think if you're married to somebody and you're having like relationships with other people, that just takes too much energy. That's a lot.
Energy.
You got to keep your lies straight. Keep
2
all
phones.
this.
You
Yeah,
gotta
you
get
do
another
all
phone.
of
You gotta get a
that.
burner.
Yeah. They still call it a burner.
Yeah, still call them burners.
You gotta do all that. You guys, it's just too much. It's just
much.
too much. So, we've got more stuff on the way. We've got Ask Al, Ass of the Week out front. More music.
How come every time you say ass of, you love saying ass of the week and she looks right at me.
Well-
Ass of the week.
Just in case you want to step up, step forward.
I'm not that guy.
We got lots more on the Al Rucker Show. Not that guy.
Thank you for tuning back into the Al Rucker Show. And we're at that segment we call Al's
Ask Al.
Ask Al.
Your favorite segment,
I was
right.
thinking of something else.
All right.
Y'all
'Cause she
keep
got
talking.
2.
Yeah. Ask Al, which has to be my favorite segment. Or people write in
They do.
and want our help.
They
and
do.
we give great advice.
We do.
You being a former school teacher, me being who I am,
Yes.
and Mr. Grossman
She's
being
a former educator.
She is a former educator. We have 2 out of 3 education people on the set today.
Okay. Very well. But luckily this is not going to be about education. So all of us can talk about it.
We're smart. We all can talk about it. Grossman can talk about anything.
So we've learned. Dear Al and crew, I had an on and off boyfriend of 2 years whom I loved, but I ultimately realized the relationship was not working. So I ended it several months ago and I moved on. He now lives in New York, but came to Detroit this week for work. He suggested we hang out and have dinner. I agreed, but on the condition it would be just as friends, and he agreed. We had a great time, but when he walked me to my car, he gave me a pair of diamond earrings. I told him giving me gifts would not change my mind about the relationship. He said he just wanted me to have them. The earrings are beautiful, but if I keep them, would that be sending the wrong message? Sincerely, Diamond in the Rough out of Detroit.
No, I don't think it'd be sending the wrong message. You think it would?
Yeah,
Absolutely,
yeah.
but I probably would
Yeah.
still keep the
Yeah,
earrings.
you want to keep them.
A woman gonna keep
I
them.
would probably still
Yeah.
keep the earrings, but I would be clear on the fact that I am absolutely
Exactly.
sending the wrong message.
No, but if you accept the earrings and you tell him why you accept them, I'm accepting it because they're nice, but I'm gonna tell you what's not going to happen. You just be straightforward.
Yeah, but
And
I don't
he's-
think people hear that.
Men don't hear that. Period. They're
No,
gonna continue trying. If a man just cash app you some money, you gonna send it back?
Well, let's try.
Exactly. So you gonna
Somebody
keep it.
cash app me some money. Let me see if I send it back. I mean, I think that, but I don't
let's
know.
try.
I think cash is a little bit different than diamond earrings. First
I
of
do
all,
too.
I think if somebody gave me cash, I would probably give it back. But if somebody gives me diamond earrings, I mean, if they're beautiful, I probably wouldn't want to keep them.
No, I'll tell you what, sweetheart, take it as a gift and move on. If you don't want him, he gave it to you, keep him.
And he's not there. He's in New York. It's not
Well,
even
just
like
keep
he's in
him.
Detroit. But just
You
you
get
know,
into a bind, go pawn them. They're yours.
then there's
They're
that.
yours.
Don't
then
take them out the box.
there's
Keep
that.
the box. Don't throw the box away.
But to be clear, as a man, if you bought a woman diamond earrings, would
Mm-hmm.
you do it just as a? I mean, would you want her just to have them as a friend, or would it be you trying to impress her enough to change her mind about being in the relationship?
Something he left out the relationship, giving her gifts. So he decided to get her one. Give her a pair of earrings.
because he didn't do it in the relationship.
Yeah,
No,
he
this
gave
thing
her a
he
hard
did.
time, so he said, you know what? I'm biting.
No, he's definitely trying to get her back. So he's showering her with gifts. So evidently, getting gifts may be one of her love languages. So he's trying to act on that part right there.
Flowers would have been like
Al said
flowers.
love language.
What's wrong?
Love language.
What you talking about?
Flowers.
I love it, huh?
No.
Flowers.
That's what I'm saying.
Women
If that-
loves flowers.
No, listen to me, bro.
I don't.
Listen, women.
'Cause you-
Everybody has a love language. So at the end of the day, this man knows that
What do you-
receiving gifts is her love language. So
Okay.
he's trying to play on that.
Mhm.
So he's giving her gifts, trying to entice her to come back to the relationship. So that's all he's doing. It's no different if you say like flowers. So evidently the women you dated may have liked flowers. So when you get yourself into a situation with him, what's the first thing you gonna do? Go
Flowers.
buy some flowers. So
On
what
the
he's
car.
trying to exactly.
He said in a car.
Yeah. So this
So
guy.
what is your love language? This is so fascinating. What is
Yeah.
your
My
love
love
language?
What is your love language?
My love language is providing and protecting.
Okay.
So I'm a provider and protector.
Okay. And but what's your love
What's
language?
my love
yeah,
language?
what makes you feel loved?
I think my love language will be I'm more of let me see what's the right word. I just want to be appreciated, valued.
Okay, so people,
Yeah.
them like affirming
Yeah,
you. So
affirming,
saying
that's
thank
it.
you and,
Yeah,
and giving
that's
you
it.
compliments.
Yeah.
Do you know what yours is?
Yeah, just wash the dishes. That's it. Just clean the house.
Okay.
No, which that is a love language. That is
I'm
love
telling
language.
you.
I don't-
you
yeah, I-
she
That's love
looking
language
like it
because-
ain't.
No,
It
because
is.
you
It
do-
is a love language.
on,
I don't
yeah.
know if it's quite how
You been
you
home?
say it, but
It ain't-
it's a love
clean.
language.
It ain't
Oh.
said like that because you have some women that want a man to do chores. Like they may say she comes home and the house is clean or the yard is cutting. I done literally heard women say, "Man, if he's out there cutting the yard, that turns me on."
Mm-hmm.
You know, just so. But
Does
he's
that turn
saying,
you on?
It does.
Yeah.
Because there's one less thing I got to do.
Where's your, where's your yard?
so
That's why we hire a service for that.
that's what he's talking about. He out
Hire
there-
a service for that.
He out there. Can you imagine? You look outside.
Oh
he
my
out there
God. Stalker, like he's got pictures. I mean,
Yeah.
it.
He's out there
You
in some
on social
speedos and a
media.
tank top.
Oh God.
Cutting you over with speedos and a tank top.
Oh my
with
God.
some
It's
boots
an
on.
army boot.
With some boots on with a hat. With a baseball cap.
Oh goodness! Out Front is up next, and then Ass of the Week is after that shortly. Lots of good music still, and we're gonna try to get the image of Grossman in a speedo out of our
With a
head.
white beat on.
We'll be back with more of the Al Rucker Show.
Thank you for tuning back into the Al Rucker Show. You got Nikki Woods. You got comedian Grossman. You got myself. And we are doing Out Front
and
with
we-
Nikki Woods.
Out Front with Nikki Woods, and we are going out front with Dr. Sarepta, as she's proudly repping on her shirt.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show.
Oh.
Thank you.
So, just to give you a little bit of background on her, Dr. Sarepta started her mission in healthcare and wellness advocacy and education after noticing a tremendous need while treating her patients in her everyday work. Now, she, by trade, I guess that's how you say it, is a podiatrist, but she also has an overall message just of living well. So, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And one of the things that I thought was really interesting that you wanted to talk about was just with this holiday season, because a lot of us are known to eat more during the holiday season, and eat more probably of the things we shouldn't be eating during the holiday season. And I never really thought about the impact on people who may have chronic diseases. And that's one of the things that you have been talking about. So tell us about some of those chronic diseases, and then let's talk about what we can do to help manage them.
Sure. Well, throughout the year, people who are dealing with chronic diseases such as diabetes, hypertension, high cholesterol, oftentimes we have those diseases under control, right? If we've been dealing with them for a long period of time. But for some reason, when we get around the holidays, we kind of feel like we can skip through our meds or, oh, it's okay, I can eat this, although you weren't supposed to be eating it the entire year and you did well. Over the holidays, we kind of throw everything out the window. And so I speak to my patients about ways that they can sort of keep their chronic diseases under control while still enjoying, the holiday season, all the festivities that come along with it.
And so what are some of those ways? Because even for those of us who don't have chronic diseases, I'm sure we can probably use these tips. So what are some of the ways they can manage it?
Okay, so I try to keep it simple for my patients, and I talk to them about 4 tips that they can keep in the forefront of their mind. Number 1 is plan ahead, right? So you already know during the holidays, if you're going to be doing an extended amount of traveling, perhaps you're going to be on the plane for longer. You're going to see long lost relatives, people that you haven't seen for a long time. And so plan those things ahead, especially if you're going to be away for an extended period of time from home where you won't have access to those medications. Call your pharmacy. See if you can get an extended prescription, right? Maybe. Right. Or maybe have a prescription sent over to where you're going to be. So that way you're not kind of left out, in the middle of your vacation wondering, oh gosh, what am I going to do?
Right.
I'm down to my last pill for my high blood pressure, in addition to the fact that, I'm having all this stuffing and all this salty sort of food. So plan ahead for your trips. You know what's coming up. So take the time out to do that. The second thing is to pay attention. I tell them, pay attention to those doctor's appointments and those health priorities, things that you have going on. If you have a doctor's appointment that's routinely scheduled every couple weeks, 4 or 6 weeks, depending on what you're dealing with, and one is coming up during the time of the holidays, you're going to be here. You know what I mean? Or not, because a lot of times that's when things fall off, when we don't take the time to schedule our appointments around our travel.
Okay, what's the third thing?
Third thing is to watch out for stress. So,
we're talking about family and the holidays.
Right.
Built-in stress.
Right, seeing that auntie, that uncle, they bring up the conversations that make us uncomfortable. Why are you still single? Why are you still dating? So there's a lot always going on. And it can be stressful, believe it or not. We think about the holidays as always a joyous occasion, but for a lot of people, truthfully, it's emotional.
Absolutely.
And so there are a lot of feelings that come up, maybe from lost ones. And so I tell people, watch out for stress. Pay attention to your body. It may not really seem like you're stressed, but if you're emotionally stressed, you can become physically stressed as well. And one condition such as diabetes, physical stress can raise your glucose levels. And so, that's just one example. So you really want to watch out for stress with that.
And so what's the final one?
The final one is to not be afraid to say no.
Okay. What? No to what? No to the sweet potato pie? What are we saying no to?
No.
Okay.
Right. Actually, I didn't think about that, but absolutely. Don't be afraid to say no in general. I know for myself, around the holidays, I'm bombarded with engagements and family parties and company parties, and right? Everybody's having a shindig, and you're trying to make it to everything, and you're trying to keep up. But if you are dealing with something, you're not feeling too well, or you're kind of out of your schedule, your regimen as far as your health is concerned, don't be afraid to say no. Turn it down. It'll be fine. Make 10 out of the 15 holiday parties. It'll still be okay, right? But the key is just taking time out to allow your body, because you're already going to be out of your normal schedule, taking time out to allow your body to rest in between the festivities. So you can still enjoy but take time out.
I love it. And I love to say no. I'm
Say
saying
no.
no. I'm going to say no to a lot of stuff this holiday season.
Just say no.
Yes.
Not me. I'm eating.
Well, I'm not
Read.
saying necessarily no to food, but I
to eat
do.
some
I
cookies
think,
right now.
Yeah. But I do
Ooh.
agree to do a lot of stuff that I don't necessarily want to do because then you feel bad because it's the holidays. So you say yes and you go do it. So
Yeah.
I'm going to say Dr. Sarepta has given me permission to say no.
Say no.
So tell people how they can follow you. Her Instagram, you got to follow her on Instagram. She posts
Okay.
all these little hot
Oh,
mama
God.
pictures.
Thank
Very
you.
undoctor-like, but I love them.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Not your doctor.
But I love them. They're gorgeous. So how can they follow
Honestly.
you on Instagram?
Thank you. Yes, I'm on Instagram, Dr. Sarepta, Dr. Sarepta, Sarepta. That is my handle on all social media platforms. So feel free
And
to
at your
follow.
website, drsarepta.com.
It's my website.
Yes.
Follow, comment, engage. I love questions and just connecting.
And she gets a lot of health information on her Instagram as well, and a lot of things. And we'll have to have you back to talk about feet because she's a podiatrist. A lot of interesting information on the feet. So we appreciate you. Thank you for going out front with us today on the Al Rucker Show.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning back into the Al Rucker Show. And we at that segment we call Ass of the Week, and it's not Trump, right?
No,
Trump is not.
no,
in
but I'm
today?
sure Trump had something to do with this some way, somehow.
he was in the running.
He was in.
He got to let me know he was in the
because
running.
of Trump. He absolutely was in the running. He's always in the running. He's like Grossman. It's just a given.
Just a given.
We add him to the
They
list,
just
but
love me on this show.
Yeah.
I think that's why they got me here.
But it was been viral all
seven
week
say
and
male
definitely
ass.
wanted to talk about it. And I'm not sure who actually is going to be the ass of the week. But the story is a 64-year-old teacher beats up a student in class over being called the N-word. Then he gets arrested and then he gets $50,000 through a GoFundMe campaign. But it was stunning
My
to
man.
watch. It was stunning to watch. He's been officially charged with child abuse because the kid was only 14 years old. But obviously the 14-year-old was very aggressive with the teacher and called him nails called him the N-word and all that kind of stuff and called him names. And, you know, he did go to the hospital. They have what they called moderate injuries. But since the teacher has been arrested in the video of the incident, because there's always a video of the incident, since it went viral, somebody started a GoFundMe campaign and he has raised $50,000.
Wow.
$50,000. The
And
student
is-
accuses him of being a liar, calls him and humiliates him, and you know, just all sorts of things. It's just crazy, just crazy. But it
You being a teacher, well, ex-teacher. I don't know.
ex-teacher, yeah.
So you give us your opinion on this situation. I wouldn't.
Well, first of all, I squarely put the blame at the foot of the parents because obviously this kid has no respect for authority whatsoever. I mean, that's just clear. I mean, I don't know of a situation where you can ever act like this towards an adult and it be okay.
Be okay.
Whether or not, even if the adult is wrong, I mean, I think that there is a way to handle it, especially at 14. And this clearly, he feels entitled to exhibit this kind of behavior with anybody.
Okay.
And so I think that's a problem. I mean, I think the kids, it's a different day. And even when I was a teacher, you could always, just by the way the kid behaved, you could always tell what you were going to get when the parents showed up.
How long was
Always.
you a teacher? How long?
Oh, I wasn't long at all because I couldn't do it. Because I would have been
he's
the one getting the
64
GoFundMe campaign.
And he's 64 years old, so just think how long he's been a teacher putting up with that. But I don't think he's ever been called the N-word in his own classroom. He probably been called out. But
He
that
probably has, but I think
when-
as soon as he tried to back him up, they probably backed up, and this kid just didn't.
Yeah.
You know what I
being
mean?
64 years old. That's
But no, I saw that.
Yeah,
I saw that. That
he's
kid
born
was
in
out
the
of line.
50s.
That kid was way out of line.
Way
That
out
kid
of
was out of
line.
line.
Way out of
Yeah.
line.
I couldn't. If
and the
I
kid
could
should
not
be
be a teacher
suspended.
this day and age.
No,
The
I
kid
agree.
should be suspended.
Yeah.
He should
And
be
he
suspended.
probably will be, but I think that I think that at some point, as a 64-year-old man, that he could have made a better choice.
Well, the
He
N-word is
just pushed. He pushed that. It's kind of
He
like
did,
Yeah,
but at the
kid
end of the
pushed it,
day,
yeah.
he's a 64-year-old man
Yeah, the
that
kid-
could have made a
That
better
guy-
choice.
Yeah, he could
That got
have.
a
He could
good-
have. But you know, it's.
a good uppercut.
I'm gonna say that man had temporary insanity.
I agree.
He had temporary insanity. He kind of blanked out. That kid pushed him. That
kid absolutely pushed him. But
pushing
as a teacher
Yeah.
and as an adult, at some point you have to say, okay,
he's regretting it
and
right
leave the classroom or something, because unfortunately, because he did try to call for help. They tried to get another teacher. It took an incredibly long time for somebody else to come. And that's because I think that in the school system, they are understaffed and overpopulated. So it is a problem. It is absolutely a problem. But as an adult and as a person in authority, because now what is everybody else going to say? Like, what are all these kids now going to say? You know what I mean? What are they going to walk away with?
They're not going to mess with the teacher.
There are some that won't, but those are probably the ones that wouldn't have messed with them in the first place. But then there are others that are going to go home and tell their parents, and their parents are going to be like, he shouldn't have done that. He shouldn't, and it's just crazy.
The N-word is out of control. They don't see these. There's so many racists using it because it's in every song. Every song you listen to has
But I think that the difference is
control.
that people don't know when to use it and when not to use it. Because clearly we talk a certain way when we're with our friends. We wouldn't go into a court of law and talk like that to the judge, because we know that there's a time and a place to say everything, right? There are still some things I would never say to my parents. Like never.
Never.
Yeah.
You're right.
Ever.
But I mean, but
Have you ever cursed in front of your parents?
I've never even heard my parents curse.
But based on
I
what
never
you were
heard
saying,
my daddy curse.
Based on what you were saying, Grossman, I think the problem is we use the word as a term of endearment. So it's easy for us to kind of it's lost this sting. You know what I'm saying? Until somebody
else uses
until
it.
somebody other race says it. So we've done that. We created that problem.
I agree with
Yeah,
that.
we created that problem because we use it as a term of endearment.
And when you're dealing with a 64-year-old man, it clearly means something
different
different
to
than it does to a 22-year-old. You know what I mean? It's just a different whatever. So,
Yeah.
like I said, there's just a bunch of asses in this whole scenario.
Well,
but just
he's an ass. Somebody didn't teach him how to fight.
oh god.
Who, the 64-year-old?
Yeah, he saw how
Oh,
he's-
you know how to fight?
No, he
that
wasn't.
uppercut was cold.
The uppercut was, but no, the
I
elbow.
can't believe we're like having an
the
actual
elbows. The
discussion.
elbows was the elbows what got me.
No,
But
that's when he became a daddy. He was whooping him. Get your
Well, we had a great show. We
I'm
appreciate
telling
you
your
hanging
ass,
out
nah.
with us.
You ass.
We had Power Up, Out Front, all your favorite segments. Also, a lot of great music. So we will see you next time.
we definitely will.
Yep. Thank you, Comedian Grossman, for hanging out with us.
Hey, you guys welcome. I had a great time here this evening, man. Let's do this again. Maybe.
Maybe.
Knowing to her.
Maybe.
I'm
We'll be
ass.
back with more soon on the Al Rucker Show.
I'll be cutting your yard in Speedos.
Oh, my-
Hi, this is Comedian Grossman. My segment is today is how do you keep people out your business? This is one way how you can do it. Somebody call your house, the first thing you do is tell them, hey, what you doing? Struggling. Trust and believe. They'll call you back. You'll be like, well, let me call you back. That's a good way to keep people out your business. And another way to keep people out your business is tell them, hey, can I get a ride with you to the park? Or can I get a ride with you to the store? Just say, I don't have no AC and it's 110 degrees outside. Well, let me call you back. That's another way to keep people out your business.
The Al Rucker Show.